Today I'm leading you through a short yoga class that focuses on the hips. The hips can be tight from stress, from sitting in chairs or from sports. When we improve hip flexibility and stability, we can improve lower back pain, balance and even prevent injuries. If we haven't met, I'm Sharon from SharonRaynerYoga.com. In the description below you can find a link to join the Beginners and Improvers Yoga community on Facebook. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more free classes and tips. Your support in growing my channel is really appreciated. So come to a comfortable cross-legged seated position. You can sit on a rolled up blanket or towel, and what's also more comfortable, if your knees are troublesome at all, is to have a rolled up blanket or towel under your knees as well. So make sure that you're comfortable here. We're working on the hips as we sit here, so it can be quite intense if you're not used to sitting like this. So we're just going to spend a few moments breathing. If you place your hands on your ribs and just take a few breaths here where you lengthen the inhales and the exhales. So as you inhale, you'll feel your ribs expand, and as you exhale, you'll feel your ribs contract. And we also want to start making an echoey sound in the back of the throat. So take a couple more like that. Inhale and exhale, making that echoey sound in the breath in the back of the throat. Inhale and exhale. And then place your hands, your fingertips in front of your knees. If you don't need the blanket or the towel anymore, you can move that out of the way. So placing the fingertips in front, inhale the left arm up. And as you exhale, twist and let that arm go behind you so the fingertips are on the floor. Inhale to lift and exhale to twist. So really starting to use these core muscles to twist, these muscles around the waist. Inhale to lift the chest and exhale to twist. One more. Inhale and exhale. And then coming back to the front, the fingertips in front of the knees. This time the right arm, inhale up and exhale, the fingertips behind. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale to twist from the core. Inhale, always lifting the chest on the inhale, and exhale to twist maybe a little bit more. And then coming back to the front. So move your blankets out of the way now. And we're coming to all fours position, so tabletop. So the wrists are underneath the shoulders, the knees are underneath the hips. Inhale to lift the tailbone and soften the chest. Exhale to round the spine, looking towards the thighs. Inhale, tailbone up, almost like you're trying to push the chest through the arms. Exhale to round. One more like that. Inhale, really getting some nice movement in the spine and the hips. Exhale. And then coming back to a neutral position, child's pose. We're going to separate the knees as wide as is comfortable and reach the arms forward. So you might find that your hips don't reach the floor, and in fact you can take your towel or a cushion and sit on that. If your hips are up higher, that's fine. But we're working towards sitting back towards the heels, really reaching the arms forwards, and the forehead is towards or on the floor. Taking a couple of breaths, feeling the ribs expand as you inhale. Exhale as the ribs contract. And then taking the hands underneath the shoulders, rolling up, bringing the knees in, coming back to tabletop position. And we're going to do a lunge here, so take the right foot forwards. If it comes out to the side and you help it forward, that can be useful there. And then if you can, tuck the toes and straighten that back leg, really pushing that heel backwards. So if that's too much, then just bring the knee back down. But if you can, straighten that leg, pushing the heel back and really feeling the stretch at the front of the hip here. It's quite a strong stretch. Taking a couple of breaths, really breathing into any sensations that you're feeling. And then lower the knee, come back to tabletop. And then the left foot comes forward. So if you need to take it out to the side and help it forwards, that's fine. So tuck the toes at the back, seeing if you can straighten the leg. And then if that's too much, just bring that knee down and take it slightly easier. But if you can, straighten that leg, press the heel behind you. Again, stretching into that front of the hip. So we're now stretching the front of that right hip. Taking a couple of breaths here. Always using the breath to guide you. If the breath starts to become too choppy or difficult in any way, then just simply come to an easier position. Coming back to tabletop. And then lifting up the hips, so the toes are tucked under, and we're just going to walk the feet and the hands towards each other. So the feet are about hip width distance apart. Take the elbows and let the knees bend. And what we want to do is let the back and the neck relax. So if you want to sway from side to side. So we are stretching the backs of the legs, but we want to keep it comfortable. So the knees can be deeply bent. Pressing the feet down and pressing the hips up. And feeling that dynamic between those two motions. And then bring the hands down. Bend the knees deeply and we're going to roll up really slowly. So if you need to, you can place the hands on the thighs to help keep the chin down. Coming up slowly, allowing the blood pressure to normalise, keeping the chin down. And then when you get there, roll the shoulders up and back and let the head come back up to neutral. So facing the long edge of the mat, take the feet wide and we're going to do a triangle pose. So the wider the feet, the more intensive this is going to be. So you choose the intensity that you want. Turn the left foot out and then the back toes angle in a little bit. And we want to line up approximately heel to heel. Take the hands to the hips. The chest is facing the long edge of the mat. Bring the hands out to the side and we're going to reach forwards over that left foot, coming as far as you comfortably can before lowering that left hand down to the leg. So the other arm on top can stay here. And what we want to do, rather than leaning the torso down that way, we want to see if we can open up the chest and the top ribs. And then if you want to, you can bring this arm up. But if you find that your shoulder is awkward and you're leaning down like that, then just keep the arm here and work on that rotating here. So it takes time. You might find that this is quite challenging to begin with, so that's fine. And the neck, you can either look down, you can look forward, and depending on how your neck feels, you might be able to look up. That's quite hard on the neck though, so you might want to just look forwards. So one more breath here. And then to come out, look down bring the arm down and really use your core muscles to come up with strength. So we don't want to kind of wrench out there. Bring the toes to face the front and then the other side. So we want the right toes to point towards the short end of the mat. Pigeon toe the back toes in a little bit. Place the hands on the hip, the chest is facing the long edge of the mat. Bring the arms out to the sides and then we're going to lean over to that right side, going as far as you can. The arm on top can lay down against the side of the body, the hand comes down, and then again we're rotating the shoulder and the ribs upwards. And then you choose whether you want to reach that top arm up and whether the gaze is down or forwards or up to the hand. So again, if you find that you're leaning down and the shoulder is awkward, that can be quite common. So simply bring that arm down and work on rotating the shoulder and the top ribs up to the ceiling. And try not to dump too much into that bottom shoulder, there's a lift there. So take one more breath here. And then to come out, we look down. We want to always be careful on the neck and come up using our core muscles. Point the toes forwards. Place the hands on the hips. Inhale just to open the chest and shoulders. And we're going to fold from here. So as you exhale, the hands run down the legs, keeping a flat back to start with. And then eventually we're going to fold. So the hands reach wherever they reach. They might be on the thighs, the calves, they might be on the floor. And then just let the head and neck go. The knees can be bent, working towards straightening the legs, but it doesn't matter how far they go. And see if you can release the head and neck. Taking a few breaths here. One more breath. See what you can let go of. The feet are pressing down. The tailbone is pressing up. And then bring the hands to the floor. Bend the knees as much as you need to. And we're going to just heel toe the feet towards each other. And then we're going to come to kneeling. So just sit here for a moment. So just allowing that blood pressure to return to normal again. We've had our heads upside down. So it's quite good to just sit for a moment. And then come into recline. So however you get there is fine. So just make sure that you have some room behind you. Place the hands behind the thighs and we're just going to sneak in a little bit of core work here. So we're going to come down as slowly as possible. If you want to make it harder, you can reach the arms out. Otherwise, we just come down as slowly as possible. Trying not to just plop back. Slowly, slowly, coming all the way down. And then bringing the feet towards you a little bit more, the knees are bent. And to stretch the hips some more, we're going to take the right foot across the left thigh, flex that foot and just gently press the right knee away from you. So getting a nice external rotation in that right hip. And just see if you can relax, see what you can let go of. Coming back to that breathing, that echoey sound in the throat, the expansion of the ribs on the inhale. And then carefully switching sides, so place that foot down. This time the left foot crosses the thigh. The foot is flexed and then just gently pressing the left knee away from you. And again, just coming back to breathing. And just thinking what doesn't need to be working right now. What can I let go of? Stretching that left hip now. And then bringing that foot to the floor, we're going to hug the knees into the chest, maybe rocking from side to side. And then to final relaxation, place the feet flat on the floor. You can either relax here, the palms facing up, the knees falling in on each other. And if you'd like to, you can extend the legs out and relax here. Staying here for as long as you want to. And when you are ready to come out, you're going to hug the knees back in, roll over to the side and gently sitting back up.